Welcome back to episode 7 of the bulking series. Today I'm going to give you all a progress update and kind of explain some of my highs, lows, and some of the difficulties that I was dealing with the past couple of weeks during travel and things like that. So without further ado, go ahead and roll the intro. And before we get started, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. It would be much appreciated. If you saw my last video with an update, of course, then you probably know that I managed to gain about 4 pounds at about the 21-day mark. Since then, as you can see on the graphics here, I've managed to put on a good amount of weight, got up to about 174 in about 5 weeks, maybe 6. Although I will admit, the progress happened a little bit quicker than I would have liked, but I think there's a couple of reasons for that. But I'll explain those in a second. You can also see that I managed to gain about a half a pound per week during weeks 3 and 4. That was before I hit 174, and I believe there's also a couple of reasons for that as well. I usually weigh myself on Mondays, and the Sunday before that weigh-in, where I weighed in a half a pound heavier, there were some things that I was doing, like playing airsoft for my first time. It was an experience, got shot up a bunch, but it was a good time. Not sure I would do it regularly because I'm gonna be honest, some people who play airsoft regularly are a little bit weird, but most of them were cool. With that said, I will say that there was a lot of movement and running around. I wasn't really expecting that. Plus we were playing for a few hours and I tried to manage my calories the best that I could, but I will say that I did eat a burrito, and because I wasn't able to accurately track it, I wonder if, I kind of lost some water weight, as well as, managed to lose a little bit of weight that I might have had for that weigh-in on week 4 because of, just simply running around and sweating it out. Plus, when you're eating out, you can't really accurately track calories. You can do your best, but for the most part, chefs don't really weigh out their food. They're kind of just making a delicious product. However, I did still manage to gain a half pound, so I wasn't sweating it going into week 5. Now week 5, things did change a little bit. I went from 171 to about 174, and I was a little bit concerned about how fast I was gaining the weight, just because 3 pounds in a week seems excessive. It really would have been closer to 2.5, but you get what I'm saying. Of course, there was a reason for that. That weekend I did have a holiday party as well as a graduation party that I was going to, and because of that I was eating, again, more unreliable, hard to track things, and I did have a couple of drinks at the holiday party. Nothing crazy, I enjoyed them responsibly, I'm over 21, so from time to time I do that. However, that water weight and that water retention stuck around a little bit longer than I think I was expecting it to, which caused the scale to tip upwards over 174 pounds. So I really wasn't sweating it too much, considering the fact that typically you'll see the scale fluctuate on a bulk, especially if you're consuming things that are going to cause you to retain water. Now, moving forward into the next week, that was this past week, the week of Christmas, you'll see that my weight actually dropped significantly. About 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds. I mean, it was a lot of water weight, I think, but there was more to the picture than I think you may realize. See, when traveling, you deal with different things. In my case, I was driving almost 5 hours on 2 different days, which meant that I really wasn't eating during that 5-hour window. Plus, whenever I was eating, I feel like it was a quick binge, maybe 1,000 calories, and I feel like on those 2 days, I probably fell short on my calories. Not to mention the fact that I was snowboarding that weekend, so I probably was getting in a fair amount of activity, including the steps that I would be taking if I was here. And on top of that, because I was drinking out of a smaller water bottle, I probably wasn't as well hydrated as I normally am. Also, I will say that my weigh-in didn't happen until about Christmas Eve. That was the day that we came back from the trip, and because of that, I was weighing in a little later in the day, and I would have technically been fasted from the moment that I woke up until I actually weighed myself in around 2 o'clock. So fast forward to today, as you can see, the scale tips back up. I'm at about 174 pounds once again. So for the most part, I was able to pretty much get back on track to where I wanted to be, or at least where I was before I had some other things kind of get in the way. I don't want to say get in the way because honestly I was just living my life, but I think you get what I'm saying. And it's really weight fluctuation that kind of messed with my head a little bit during this process, because I realized traveling and doing one-off things kind of impact to my progress, but if I'm being 100% honest, I'm not too worried about it. My perspective is that moving forward, I'm really not going to have those one-off fun things to do moving forward outside of maybe snowboarding on the weekends. So I think I'll be able to stay a little bit more dialed in and account for the extra calories that I might need for the extra activities that I might be doing on the weekends. Now, for those of you that have made it this far, first of all, thank you. Most people don't make it this far in these videos. My channel is a lot smaller than maybe some bigger channels, but I'm doing this for fun. I do have a little bit of advice if you're struggling with weight loss or weight gain. I kind of think of this analogy of, having a job. There's certain things that you do, even in your dream job, that you're probably gonna hate. And there's gonna be weeks that are super difficult and, you kind of just have to tough it out and get through that. Now imagine having one terrible week at work, or even a couple of terrible weeks at work, and deciding, that's it, I'm quitting, I'm done. Yeah, maybe you made a couple of mistakes and that made the weeks difficult, but you wouldn't quit your job because you made a couple of mistakes. However, whenever it comes to weight loss and weight gain, a lot of people kind of take that perspective. You made a mistake for a week, a couple of days, and you decide to just completely quit. This could have been the end of my bulking journey. I mean, I lost a bunch of weight, so I should probably just stop bulking. Matter of fact, I should just stop posting. My numbers are down, so what difference does it make? It's not the best perspective to have. You should have the perspective of, I stumbled, now I have to get back up and push forward. So I guess the message here is don't let a couple of bad days ruin the progress that you could make. Some of you are maybe trying to lose weight and you binged a little bit on Christmas, so now you're carrying a little bit of water weight. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't continue your weight loss journey. Same thing with bulking. Maybe you didn't eat as much and track your calories the way you should have, but that doesn't mean that you should necessarily quit. It just means you have to hop back on that horse. And don't wait until Monday. Do it today. Do it right now. Just take the first step, and once you dive back in, I promise you'll feel better. At the end of the day, progress is not linear. You have ebbs and flows that impact your progress. So sometimes you're gonna have a dip, kind of like in the stock market, and some days you're gonna feel great and you're gonna have a couple of days or weeks that compound together and you really see that progress moving forward. But when you have those dips, you have to keep pushing. Promise, at the end of the day, you're gonna feel way better. So those are my words of wisdom for you all today. If you made it this far in the video, again, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you enjoyed today's content, again, a subscription, a like will go a long way and will be much appreciated. And until next time, keep it together.